Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ryan George Fair. So it's 12:03 a.m. and it's July 11th, 2022. So I really miss my black friend that died from the coronavirus named Ryan Cherry. I'll link his Facebook. See, sometime about 2 years ago or 3 years ago is when my black friend named Ryan Cherry died from the coronavirus pandemic. And also my Aunt Sissy, her son passed away. And then my mom's friend named Donna passed away sometime about 3 or 4 years ago from heroin. So my mom's friend passed away from heroin. My Aunt Sissy's son died. And my black friend died from the coronavirus. And then my other friend named Ryan Dietrich was shot by Baltimore police. And I used to have conversations with Ryan's mom. I got scared when I noticed the 11 or 12 people on my Ryan Fair Facebook that are real. And about the 15 or 16 of them that don't talk to me anymore. Like Jasmine and Brandy, for example. They're real even though I'm a schizophrenic. Jasmine and Brandy are real. Jared Green is real, and he's the real life Billy Wesley Fouts Clone People Coincidence person. There's a boy that went to my alternative school named Dan Reichley who is real. And he wears backwards hats and things like that. And then there's this artist called Damon Winning that is real. That I've been having conversations with while he's in jail on his computer. And I have traits with epilepsy, and really, I talked to people for years in BHH and things like that. I was in BHH when I was for Chirolate stuff. Me, Ryan George Fair, I was Rhonda Wims and Disciple Apostle Gloria Johnson when BHH was still up. Chirolate was just something I did because he was my best friend after Victor the Pyro, who was my first best friend. Because, see, my first best friend was Victor the Pyro, and then my next best friend was Billy Wesley Fouts, the Chirolate guy that has all those views on YouTube. And he was my best friend for 4 or 5 years. And then my next best friend, or my new best friend is now James Colvin, who has his James Colvin channel, and I don't talk to Victor anymore. But I talk to people that talk to Victor, like my black friend Jamal that I sent some money. And I talk to my Carl, James Himes, James Corona friend. And then my friend is named James Colvin. I don't know when the first People Coincidence person came about, but I told people in the disability office about Ripoff Report. I told them, because some people know where my Ryan George Fair Facebook is with about 3 or 4 thousand followers on it. But when my black friend died from the coronavirus, and Alex, my second threesome, whenever I would hang out with him, he would always pull out his phone and show girls his playground project. And really, Charolade is more relevant than Alex's playground project. Once a week on Twitter, there's a new tweet where people want to know what happened to Charolade. And on Ryan Rosenzweig's video, because Ryan Rosenzweig has one video making fun of me, and he has a second one where it says, Charolade, where are you? And people are like, Charolade is the funniest person alive. Now, I have voice humor because I hung around with Billy Wesley Fouts. My name is Eva. My name is Keisha. Shut your ass up. My name is Yolanda. So I practiced those voices because I knew him, so I can talk and do those voices like he can. I've been practicing them ever since I was about 14 or 15. And I'm not sure when the People Coincidence people first became real. But I used to go to Florida and hang out with Billy Wesley Fouts and things like that. And really, when I was 17 or 18, no, my dad, George, did not buy me a car. He did not let my friends come over. It literally took my friend that was shot by the police dying in order for me to get a car and a license. And when my friend died, I had two Ryan friends that died. My black friend named Ryan Cherry that died from the coronavirus. And my other friend named Ryan that was shot by Baltimore police. And then my mom's friend passed away, and my aunt Sissy's son died from alcoholism. And really, I hate the Vicky Rice woman for making ripoff report. And then I also have a friend named Brandon Drexler, who has a friend named Sean Shellman, and there's a boy whose name is Sean Rent that I used to buy marijuana off of, and he has a friend named Brandon Tillums. And I would go over to and I would hang out with Alex and see Brandon Tillums and Brandon Drexler and things like that. And my dad George bought me a Fiero, and he bought me another car. And really, I didn't care if I went to jail for 5 or 6 years for posting the Vicky Rice woman's ripoff reports because I was sad when my black friend died. I was angry at Marjorie. The people coincidence people are real. And I got scared when I noticed them. There's about 9 or 10 of them on my Ryan Fair Facebook that are real. And there's about 17 or 18 of them that don't like me anymore. So I call it witchcraft. I see it as a goddess. And I have followers on my Sims 4. And really, I find my life to be cruel. Because no, my first girlfriend, Alicia, she didn't give me sex. I only fingered her. I was with my second girlfriend, Brooke Dirks, on Ryan George Fair ripoff report sometime when I was 13 or 14. And she gave me a blowjob. And then I was with my third black girlfriend named Tanya, my fourth one named Nadia, and then my fifth one named Sabrina that I fingered at my 17th birthday party. I've never done things with boys a day in my life, and I don't ever plan to. And 9 months ago, I had a girlfriend with black hair. But when my black friend died from the coronavirus, and I saw Alex sleep with this anorexic girl and Allison Freeman, and he sleeps with his girlfriend Courtney, who cheats on him, and Alex stole my Xbox, and Marjorie made those ripoff reports about me. I didn't care if I went to jail. Because some days people assume that Ryan George Fair isn't even real. And people think that Ryan George Fair just loves everything. No, I have a very difficult life. I live with a dad that did not give me my schizophrenia money. I live with a dad that would punch me in the face and scratch his own face and send me to mental hospitals against my will. I've been going to hospitals ever since I was 15 or 16 for bipolar. So I've been going to hospitals for that long. Ever since I was that young, I've been going to hospitals. And I was at the school on the grounds of a mental hospital, which was the funnest years of my life, which is where I met Victor and Brandon. But I don't talk to Victor anymore. And really, I was just like, people think that Chevrolet is the funniest person alive, and he hasn't uploaded anything on his Chevrolet channel for years. And I was like, first of all, I'm Ryan George Fair and I am real. Second of all, I don't have to answer any questions. Because I live with a dad that punches me in the face. I live with a dad that plays with my schizophrenia money. I have stomach issues where I throw up. I could not make a girlfriend before I got with this girl with blonde hair named Alexis that I was with a year and a half ago. And this other girl with black hair I was with 9 months ago. No, I could not make a girlfriend for about 5 years. And I didn't lose my virginity until I was 21. And I only did things with some of my girlfriends, my 5 original girlfriends. And my dad is mean and evil and cruel, and he has the coronavirus, and he's already come home and coughed on me. My dad has been laying his hands on me ever since I was young, and Marjorie made those ripoff reports about me, even though on her YouTube years ago, I left comments and I was friendly to her. And she still hasn't come on here and apologized because she's not woman enough to. I know that Brooke Darks didn't make Ryan George for a Ripoff Report. I know that Vicky Rice did. And her friend Riley, or whatever, made it. My dad got a protective order on me. If you look on Maryland Judiciary Case Search, there's a protective order from my dad, from where both my parents have gotten restraining orders on me because they're evil people. And then there's an assault charge from where I got in a fight with this boy who was a purple belt, and I was almost a yellow belt in martial arts. And then sometime about 3 years ago, I did things with Jasmine, the light-skinned girl who is the real-life Jasmine and Brandy Shirley People Coincidence girl. So I lost touch with reality when I noticed Jasmine, when I noticed Jared, the Billy Wesley Fouts Clone People Coincidence person, when I noticed Margie Robichaux and Jeanette Edwards on Facebook, when I noticed my friend John Powell, which makes me think of John Hawk, the guy that raped a girl on Stickam. It's not like I was high because I only drink when I get my disability money and I buy Bud Lights and Coronas or do rags or hats or things like that. And I plan to hang out with dudes and have threesomes and sleep with girls. But really, I could not make a girlfriend no matter what I would do, and I didn't care if I went to jail over my psychosis because it's not fun living on this house on Jessica's Lane with George Fair. He sends me mean messages on Facebook and tells me when I'm getting my injection. And really, the people coincidence people aren't a delusion. People can meet and interact with them even though I'm standing here making this. Like I said, there's about 11 of them on my Facebook that are real, and there's about 17 or 18 of them that don't like me anymore. And no, my dad George did not buy me a car. He did not let my friends come over. He would stand in my way when I had girlfriends here, and he always does. And I don't like Marjorie. And really, sometime I'm 30, and sometime when I was 27 is when a boy from my alternative school named Matt Beckner attempted to rape me when I was real drunk one night. I went to a hospital and had a tube put up my nose and down my throat. I've tried to kill myself 3 times in my life, and I have one self-harm scar that I plan to get covered up with a marshmallow tattoo. I could not make a girlfriend. I was sick of people putting things about me on Ripoff Report. I don't work because I'm a schizophrenic. I worked pushing carts and they fired me. I worked in an alcohol store and then they fired me. Because the manager was mean. And I'm 30, and sometime when I was 25 or 26 is when I was in Jeff McGaney's Bloodstar Coven, and he calls himself Storms Wild on Instagram. And Jeff McGaney is yet again another people coincidence person that doctors or psychologists who study paranoid schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder can meet and interact with, even though I'm a paranoid schizophrenic person. Just like Jasmine and Brandy, just like Margie Robichaux and Jeanette, just like Jared Green, just like my friend Carl James Himes, and then my friend James Colvin, and things like that. People can meet them and interact with them even though I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. And I wasn't driving for 3 years because of my schizophrenia. Because of the people coincidence people on Facebook. Because I had hallucinations. Because of Sean Rent and Brandon Tilms. And Sean Shulman and Brandon Drexler. Because all my girlfriends have cheated on me. Because I was stolen from by my second threesome. because my dad did not buy me a car and he did not let my friends come over because he watches Buddy Love gay porn and I don't like him. And really, I didn't care if I went to jail for 6 or 7 years over my situation because it's not like girls were sleeping with me anyway. All my friends, they just all talk crap about one another. Like, Jeff talks crap about my friend James and says that James talks crap about me behind my back. And I wonder what my life would be like had I not gone to an alternative school, had I not gone to resource all the time, had I not been a behavior issue. But that's my life. I was one of the most popular boys in my alternative school. You know, I befriended people and I got in fights. I kicked desks over and things like that because I'm no goody two shoes. And really, I don't have to answer any Chevrolet questions if I don't want to. They're all in my head. But I know all kinds of things because I sat in this house for 4 or 5 years and learned all kinds of things that I'm never going to tell people. I know all kinds of information about Brandon Rogers. I know all kinds of information about Sharquanda. I know all kinds of information about Billy Wesley Fouts. I know things about Gary Lanier. And I don't have to answer those questions. I know who Billy's friends are. I know where he lives. I know what his dogs. I know what Gary's dog's name is. I know what Billy's cat's names were. He would tell me all those things. And he was using Jeffree Star for fame. And I never talked to Jeffree Star or Chris Crocker or Kara, though I would have liked to because I'm Ryan George Fair. But Billy Wesley Fouts never let me talk to them. And I was like, maybe if I buy a camera, either I can be nice and give people answers and see what people think, or I can just throw up the finger and say you must have the wrong Ryan Fair and play a precious answers game with everybody with what happened to Sherolade, because once a week on Twitter there's a new tweet where people want to know what happened to him. And I don't have to answer any questions because my black friend died, my white friend was shot by the police. All my girlfriends have cheated on me. I could not make a girlfriend for 5 years. I didn't have sex with any of my 5 original girlfriends. I was stolen from by Alex, the playground bully, on Larry King. I was in an extremist witchcraft cult and I have post-cult syndrome, where I believe the Hecate will fuck with me because when I went to Jeff's house, he would hold knives to my neck and told me that God is a girl with black hair that follows me around all the time with a huge butcher knife and a gun. I don't know. But I get an injection once a month in the disability office, and I cooperate and get my injections. And see, Danielle Bregoli isn't even a schizophrenic. She's just bipolar. I'm bipolar, Tourette's, autism, OCD, and schizophrenia with real people coincidences in my life. Like Jasmine and Brandy and Jeff McGaney and things like that. And it's not fair that I'm Ryan George Fair and I never talked to Brandon Rogers. It's not fair that I'm Ryan George Fair and I never talked to Chris Crocker. It's not fair that I'm Ryan George Fair and I dealt with drama and people that would like status updates about me that were negative. It's not fair that I'm Ryan George Fair and my dad won't buy me a cat, he only lets me have a rabbit. It's not fair that I'm Ryan George Fair and I dealt with so much drama in my own personal life. It's not fair that I'm Ryan George Fair and people assumed I wasn't even real. I don't know. I got nothing out of my situation. And when my black friend died, I went out and bought a camera, hoping people would like me, because I feel like I'm a nice person. I would donate to charities. I used my money to help out my black friend Jamal just the other day. I don't know. I don't know where the turtle is. But really, I was just tired of my life. And I would have liked to talk to Jeffree Star. And I haven't talked to Billy Wesley Fouts in 2 years. I never talked to Chris Crocker, even though I'm Ryan George Fair. I never talked to Brandon Rogers, even though I'm Ryan George Fair. For people to think that Ryan George Fair talked to all those people, no, I didn't. I talked to Skankisha or Michael, who was in Chirole videos years ago. And I never even really talked to Lakita Jackson before. Or Harry. No, I never talked to them. Instead, I dealt with Alex, my second threesome, coming in, stealing my Xbox, bringing bed bugs in my house, sleeping with girls. And I got nothing out of my situation, even though I'm Ryan George Fair. So I was just like, okay, Alex wants to put things about me on Rip Off Report. People think I'm not even real. And I am real and I have all kinds of answers to all kinds of questions that I'm never going to answer. I just talked to my friends on my Ryan Fair Facebook. And really, I didn't care what happened if friends unfriended me. Or things like that because my job was to sell black web. If people wanted black web to be made into a book, I don't know. But I'm in a good mood. I'm going to smoke my tobacco tonight, play with my black rabbit, and play my Sims 4, which is Ryan Aliendo. To find me, you can type in parentheses RADB and parentheses to find my Sims 4. I plan to watch Demolition Ranch on YouTube and hang out with my friend James. I've had 2 seizures from my Tourette syndrome, and I've been in 3 psychoses as a paranoid schizophrenic person. Because I was sad when my black friend died. I was sad when my other friend named Ryan was shot by the police. I was sad because I never talked to Jeffree Star, or Chris Crocker, or Kara, or Brandon Rogers, even though I'm Ryan George Fair because Billy Wesley Fouts wouldn't let me talk to them. And I just hated everything. Went out and bought a camera, and was like, first of all, I don't have to answer any questions because my mom's friend died. My black friend died from the coronavirus. I was stolen from and cheated on. Watched guys sleep with girls like Alex in front of me who came in and stole my Xbox. And he wouldn't hook me up with girls. He would make fun of me and call me names. And really, once a week on Twitter, there's a new tweet where people want to know what happened to Chirolade. And you never see any tweets about Alex's stupid playground that he built anywhere. It was done and never talked about again. People want to know what happened to Chirolade all the time. And I'm never going to answer a question ever, because I don't have to. And this is for you, Marjorie. for making your ripoff report about me, you and your friend Riley, because I know the Brooke Darks didn't make it. I know you made it. And it would be nice if you would apologize for it. But your apology means nothing to me because you're a ridiculous drunk woman that went to gay bars and got beaten up for being a transvestite. And this is going on almost 26 minutes. I'm in a good mood. I'm going to talk to my friends on Facebook and play my Sims 4 tonight. It is 12:29 a.m. and it's July 11th, 2022. So I'm going to watch Demolition Ranch on YouTube. I hope everybody's good. Much love and peace to everybody from Ryan George Fair.